Oh my goodness. Nika here. Happy Tuesday. Did you guys miss me? I wasn't here yesterday, Monday, and I am yet again streaming from the laptop because the information that I'm going to share with you is on my phone. So I'll hope and pray that this doesn't crash. I will try my best to keep up with. Welcome, everybody. And I know you saw the title, babes. I know you saw the title. Happy Tuesday. We're here back at it again, exposing, in my opinion, my theories, my speculations. This is for entertainment purposes only. We're going to be talking about Dylan Mortensen, exposing Dylan Mortensen. We have so many documents that I'm still trying to revise. Remember, I am a regular person with a job that requires a lot of hours from me. I have a family that requires a lot of hours from me, cooking, chores. So I'm trying my best to keep up with the documents. That being said, guys, we need to go over the Idaho State Police interviews that were done by Officer Cody Herman, right? Uh, of putting that, right? Some full of shit, they're full of shit. Like, I don't know what to say. How do you make that classier? Nika, you can do better. You're so classy. Maybe Dylan should just be a better human being. I don't know what to say. So I'm pulling up these interviews on my phone, guys. Let me know what you think. On December 1st, 2022, approximately 6:05, ISP detectives Matthew Heinley and Cody Herman conducted a phone interview with blank. By the way, this is a reminder that these documents are still very blanked out. So you can choose to fill in the blanks. If we use our brains, we can kind of assume who is who, but just remember, there's a lot of things that are still blurred out, right? I conducted a phone interview with blank, DOB, date of birth 2002, at blank, the Moscow PD, and recorded the phone call. See recording D7 for full details. Blank told detective she was a blank on blank lives at the blank sorority house. Blank stated she knew blank from being in the same rush group and met blank through blank and blank blank blank, who were mutual friends. So basically, sorority girls. Blank said she had known blank and blank since August of 2021. Blank described to detectives her activities during the day of November 12th and the early morning of November 13, 2022, as follows. And again, remember, as we're going through here, use the power of deduction. Thank you so much, Chappy Boss, for that amazing super chat. 199. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Use the power of deduction because we know what Dylan has said in previous interviews. So I'm just going to assume that this blanked out person is Dylan. Blank described to detectives her activities as follows. 1. Went to blank or blank for a barbecue around 1 p.m. So in my opinion, this is Dylan going to a 1 p.m. Number 2, game around 3 or 4 p.m. with blank, 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 and blank. Stayed at the game till about halftime, then went back to blank and was there until 8:30 p.m. Number 4, went to blank with blank and blank. So she could change to go to blank. Blank's 21st birthday party at a blank and blank at a house residence. Okay, so if this is Dylan, she hasn't done anything crazy yet, right? This is where you pay attention. Number 5, left around 11:30 p.m. with blank and went to the blank house. 11:30 p.m. While at the blank house, blank and blank hung out with blank. Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin in blank's apartment. Number 7, hung out for a couple of hours at the blank house, and ran into blank at around 12 or 12:30 a.m. 12 or 12:30 a.m. Interesting. Blank told blank she couldn't get drunk and made a statement to the effect she wasn't feeling it. So again, utilizing our power, our brain power, the power of deduction, it seems that this person is Dylan. And now Dylan is saying or telling other people that she wasn't feeling it, that she couldn't get drunk. I'm sorry, but I also attended a lot of universities myself, right? I've been around fraternities, sororities for a very long time. And I'm just going to be blunt and say that if you're not feeling it and that you cannot get drunk, it's probably because you're utilizing some sort of white powder. And I'm not going to say it, but I'm just going to call it maybe this, right? Because from what I saw when I was in college a long time ago, you couldn't really get drunk if you were on this, right? If you were on this. I'm just saying, doesn't matter if she was or wasn't. The point is that what? The point is that here she is bullshitting again. Literally bullshitting. So, Dylan, babe, were you shit faced or were you not? Because you're giving interviews at different times with different police departments. And when we put this interview that Dylan gave on December 1st, thank you so much, Holly Berry, for the $4.99. I really, really appreciate it. When we compare this interview she gave on December 1st to Idaho State Police, and then we compare it to the interview that she did the day after the crime took place, the day on November 13th with Moscow Police Department, guess what? They don't match. And one of the first things that any forensic criminologist, detective, FBI agent, whatever is taught is that if the stories don't match, and this was just a couple weeks later. If the stories don't match, if the interviews don't match from one week to the next, then that is pointing to what? Probably a person who is full of it, right? They're full of it. They're lying. So I'm going to pull up another document here. And please, guys, pay very close attention because there's a lot of blanks. So it's very easy to get bored. I know that we live in an era where we want, just tell us, just fill in the, no, I'm not going to fill in the blanks. Uh, blank stated at one point that blank told her she wanted to go to blank in Moscow, Idaho, but was not ready to leave yet. Number 8, blank left the blank house and went to the blank lodge and hung out for a while. Number 9, blank and blank left around 1:15 or 1:30 a.m. and went to blank house. Blank did not go with blank to the blank house. Number 10, at the blank house was this person, roommate. I'm going to skip through the important parts. Number 1, woke up around 10 or 11 a.m. This is Dylan, in my opinion, describing her activities on the day of November 13, 2022. This is after waking up, right? I say this, waking up, because when we have looked at their phone data, they had been up since way before 7 a.m., 8 a.m. They'd been calling people, FaceTiming people. They'd been sending pictures. They'd been posting on multiple social media sites. So that's why, in quotes, thank you so much, Chappy Boss, for the $4.99. Yeah, the redactions, it's making me, I'm gonna have an aneurysm over here. But nonetheless, we are intelligent people here in this channel, so we know This is probably very, very likely Dylan. Blank woke up around 10 or 11, went home, showered, grabbed coffee, and went back to blank, found out about the murders from blank. So this person, who could this person be? This is probably the person, this is probably L, right? We know that in all of the other redacted documents, we see L, and this is the person, a female, who accompanied Dylan. At around 7:30 p.m., blank went to the blank hotel where blank and blank were staying. I'm assuming this is L going back to the hotel where allegedly Bethany and Dylan were at, where they were put at by the police department right after the Idaho 4 had taken place. We know they were taken there in November 13 in the evening, right? Blank left the hotel around 9:30 p.m. with blank, blank, and blank. Blank told detectives while she was at the hotel. Blank told them she saw someone in the house wearing a ski mask and had made eye contact with them. So who is this? I'm going to assume Dylan, right? This is Dylan telling Elle, most likely, she saw somebody with a ski mask and made eye contact, but didn't know what was going on because she was out of it. This struck blank as odd because she remembered Dylan saying she wasn't getting drunk that night. So it's not just me. It's not just all 12,000 plus of you guys here, the family. It's not just us questioning Dylan. This is L. This is that person that was with Dylan the night before the crime took place, also saying, that's effing weird. That's effing weird because you just said the night before that you weren't drinking, that you weren't feeling it, that you couldn't get drunk. And I just saw somebody in the chat mentioning that you can't get drunk that if you're on METH either, right? So it doesn't matter, right? Chappie Boss, Dylan says, or Dylan was not under the influence. I don't think it matters if she was under the influence or not. The point is that she is lying. Her stories are not matching up. She's telling people different things. She's telling these other sorority girls different things. And even the sorority girls are questioning, like, that's weird. Just yesterday, before the crime took place, you said you weren't drinking. And now, post crime at the hotel in the evening of November 13th, you were telling us that you don't remember because you were so drunk, right? Because she was out of it. Blank also said in a previous point in the interview that shortly after Blank moved into the house, she had made comments about not feeling safe at the house. I found that very, very strange. Why do we have, in my opinion, Dylan telling Elle that she feels unsafe at 1122 King Road right after she moved in? What does she know? She had made comments about not feeling safe at the house because of where her room was in relation to the door. In relation to the door, Dylan, what the actual fudge is going on? If she was telling people that she was afraid of being at 1122 King Road as soon as she moved in, did she have any idea of what was going on? And she felt she was being watched. Blank did not know anything further about that specifically. Interesting. She also told detectives about an instance where Kaylee was followed by a male at Winco. Okay. Nonetheless, what did we learn from Herman's interview, from ISP interviews? That whether you like Dylan or not, this is not about us trying to bully her or hate on her. Oh my God, you shouldn't question the victims, the victims. No, if anyone has common sense, is yeah, we're going to question the two people that were at the crime scene when the crime took place. And they're saying they didn't hear a damn thing, right? That's what you should do. And as I'm going through all of these documents, all of these interviews, I can't help but notice that Bethany's statements are nowhere to be found. How convenient. Some people have said that Bethany's statements were probably paid off, did her parents pay somebody off to not release those documents? Which, if that happened, that would be incredibly illegal, by the way. But I'm just wondering, where are the statements made by Bethany Funk? And if there's one thing I remember is that at the very beginning of this case, we had heard from Ann Taylor from the defense that Bethany Funk was the exculpatory evidence, that she had the exculpatory evidence. So, should we trust the roommates? In my opinion, these interviews that have just been released show that we should not, and also show that their actions are inexcusable, especially if they were not under the influence, right? Is it possible that Dylan stayed sober because she knew what was about to happen? There have been people who have theorized about Dylan knowing way ahead of time what was going to be taking place, Bethany knowing what was going to be taking place, and that's why they chose to stay sober. And that's why Dylan lured Kaylee Gonsalves back to 1122 King Road, right? To be her plus one that she never hung out with. She never plus one with. Why? We know they didn't hang out. We know that Kaylee was with Maddie the whole evening. So why would you invite somebody to come from far away to be your plus one if you're not even going to hang with them? Unless you're trying to fuck them over, right? It just makes me wonder also who trained these cops, because none of this makes sense to any of us. None of this makes sense to me, to you, to the 12 plus thousand people in here. Thank you guys for all your support. How is the police department coming to the conclusion that this makes any sense whatsoever? It doesn't make sense. She's hiding something. And I wonder how many people attended the formal that took place on campus. We know the formal took place. How many people attended? What time did the formal actually end? Is it possible that the perps could have showed up to the formal, watched them most of the night? And when I'm reading these interviews, guys, I get the feeling that blank, that whoever blank is, I'm assuming it is L, does not trust Dylan. She's throwing her under the bus. She's saying, that's not what she said yesterday. Yesterday, she said she wasn't feeling it. She said she didn't want to get drunk. And now she's saying that she was out of it. She was so shit faced. She was so out of it. She had no idea. I just want to know what in the blankety blank really happened that night. Moscow, any answers? There's another theory that I've had, and it's that, is it possible that Bethany and Dylan saw the bodies? Did they see Ethan and Xana that early that morning when the wide open door was right in front of them, right? But if you see that and then you act like you don't out of fear of getting blamed or whatever, I can understand that, but I can't understand them not hearing anything. And honestly, if they pretended that they didn't see and they acted like they didn't in fear of getting blamed because it looks bad on them, this what y'all are doing now, it looks worse. It looks worse if they actually didn't do it, because now it's coming across like, wait a minute, your story is not making any whatsoever sense. It's not making any sense. And it's making you look, in my opinion, like they were involved when they could have just called the cops from the get-go, right? Exactly, Suds. Welcome, guys. Welcome, chat. Sorry, I missed quite a few of you guys today. Suds says, Dylan called 911 for an unconscious person and then can't tell the dispatcher whether she was unconscious or not. Exactly. SC Warner says, can't believe how fast she raised that money. People are very easily manipulated, right? We know that if you really want to raise money, you manipulate people's emotions. And I'm saying that because I have a psychology background. 4.0, by the way, not bragging, I'm just saying you manipulate their emotions if that's what you want to do. And we know that the G Army of Hate is very easily manipulated. They got manipulated into giving God knows how much money to the G fam, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And did they ever return it? That money was supposed to be for a trial. Trial never happened. The ethical thing would be to return that money, right? A lot of people were very angry. They're like, where's my money? Where's my money that I gave you when there's no trial? Right? And not only that, but people have been so brainwashed and so manipulated that they think that the Koberger family, Brian Koberger's mom, dad, sisters, should be the one paying. I've read so many comments saying Koberger family should be paying for Dylan and Bethany's therapist. Why? They didn't do anything. People are very easily brainwashed, right? And in this document, I'm like, why are they redacting Bethany's name? Why are they redacting Dylan's name? It's been 3 years. I think we can fill in the blanks. I think we can fill in the blanks. You know, did they even bother to check all of their cell phones and records? Did they even check Bethany's phone like completely? Maria says, no one really ever gets charged with perjury, so people lie. That's true. Barney Fife. Hello, Trey. Guilt, I never go knowing I'm guilty. Chappy Boss. Nope, I don't trust anything Dylan and Bethany say. They know. Oh, shit, they know. I agree. Families paid for their safety. Very possible. No way do I believe those roommates, says Marge. Hello, Norma. Why would she lawyer up? I think anyone should lawyer up, honestly. I've watched too many true crime documentaries. I've seen too many Innocence Project documentaries. And what happens when you don't lawyer up, whether you're guilty or not? It's better for people to assume that you're guilty than for cops, corrupt law enforcement to twist the truth and F you over. So I think anyone should always lawyer up, whether you're guilty or not. I would for sure lawyer up immediately. And I'm not a fan of that mentality. Why would they lawyer up? Well, that's not my concern. You know, my concern is that because Brian also lawyered up immediately. You should lawyer up when you've studied criminology, when you know the law, when you know criminal psychology as well. You understand if you want to be safe from your words being twisted by cops, whether they do it willingly or not, get a lawyer. Always get a lawyer. Fuck the haters if they say, well, that means you did it. You know, those people don't understand how the law works. I suggest people watch the Innocence Project. There's so many cases where people don't lawyer up and they end up doing, I don't know, 40 years in jail. It's crazy. Hello, Michael. How long had Dylan lived there? Hello, Holly Berry. Ellie knows why this happened and they know who did it. Brian is innocent and they know that too, my opinion. Mustang Sherry says that's always her excuse. Out of it, BS that would sober anyone up fast. Exactly. Trey says Casper's made a great point about Dylan and Bethany are the only ones that didn't quit their sororities or fraternities. They quit weeks prior. It's sus as hell. And we know that according to the legal documents, Trey, that they were not well liked by a lot of the girls in the sorority. So just makes you wonder. Omty, Omty, I don't know how you say that. OMTTY. I made a live. Welcome. PK is obviously innocent or one small part of many. I'd say he's innocent though. I mean, we don't have anything pointing to his guilt. We've heard Bill Thompson say they cannot place him at the house. We've heard Bill Thompson say that he never stalked any of the girls, right? So there's way too much weird stuff going on. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Suds says, and in the 3:33 a.m. picture too. Yeah, that's right. Marge, every time Dylan opens her mouth, she lies. Sure seems like it when we compare documents, right? When we compare interviews that she's done with different police departments, it looks like she's straight up lying. Tax Max, Facts, Thunderclap. Dylan's a damn liar. Bethany's a bit less sus, but Dylan can kick rocks and go cry somewhere else. I think that the only reason that we focus so much on Dylan, the reason I do, is because there's not a lot on Bethany. But actually we should be more suspicious of Bethany, especially because the documents that have her statements have not been released. It's making me wonder, should we be looking at her way more? We forget about Bethany quite a bit, but the fact that her shit has yet not been released, it's making me think that we need to focus on her even more, that she's even more suspicious, that maybe she's even more involved, and maybe she's even more protected than Dylan. It's easy to target Dylan because we have the documents, we have her bullshitting, we have people saying she lied, she contradicted, but what about Bethany? Very protected, right? So, either way, guys, hello, my pal Sal Vintage. Yes. Yes, Jack B. Nimble, Jack B. Quick says, doesn't Bethany have an Idaho judge in the family? Allegedly, she has a lot of political connections and a lot of family members in power. So, something to keep in mind. Hello, Truth Seeker. Cotton, or maybe Bethany said things that cleared Brian. I mean, according to the defense, that's exactly right. That's exactly what Bethany supposedly said, supposedly had this exculpatory evidence. Let us see these documents. You're supposed to be releasing all the documents. You're supposed to be releasing all the documents. It's going on 3 effing years. For God's sake, please, please let them release the documents. I want to expose the bullshit. We know there's bullshit, but where is it coming from? There's no mention of anything, Maria, that Bethany saw or said. Nothing. Not only that, but we did see a document saying that when they were trying to get Bethany to come over to Idaho after she basically fled the state, what did they say? Oh, if you come back, we won't arrest you. What were they going to arrest her for before that? Seems like trouble, right? And Lynette says, Bethany is very suspicious. She didn't show up in court. Guilt is hard to hide. She immediately left too right after. Yeah, she did. Hello, beautiful Nika. Thank you. Here, here's a new one. Did Bethany and Ethan have beef? Who knows? Kelly says the documents have been cherry picked to what they only want us to see. That is so freaking sad. Again, release everything, right? YouTube doesn't censor cussing. No, they don't. Isn't that crazy? But I have to say unaliving because it will, or it will affect the algorithm. Or I have to say red fluid, or I have to say BLOOD. It's just silly. Either way, guys, thank you all for joining me in today's live. Make sure that you leave a comment, not only in this live chat, but when we're done here, when the stream ends, make sure to go to the comment section and leave a comment, leave a like, leave me emojis. I love emojis. I don't ask for much. I do appreciate the super chats, the cash apps, the super stickers. They're highly, highly appreciated, but I don't ask for them. But I do ask only for one thing, and that is please give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section to promote the algorithm to spread this video far and wide, right? I don't need cash apps. I don't need a new laptop. I know some of you guys are trying to help me with a new laptop. I don't need that. I just need you guys to hit that like, need you guys to interact with me in the comment section. Let me know you're watching this. Let me know you enjoy this, because if you do, we have way more documents to go over. This is not over yet, guys. I know it's going on 3 years, but there's so much bullshit out there. So thank you for joining me. It is Tuesday, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care, guys. Mwah.